For the effing love of God, would somebody please help? Um, you ever known that person who was an alcoholic and they admitted it, and you're like, oh, really surprised? You're not surprised. I'm becoming depressed. Okay, I'm trying so hard, but I'm completely overwhelmed. Um, I'm trying to build a proactive team. I am missing so much work that I'm overwhelmed. I went to bed last night at 9, try to reset my sleep patterns, and I felt so comfortable. I didn't want to get out of bed. Anything but lazy, but completely, totally overwhelmed. And I'm trying to go from crisis management to proactive team. I have come so far. And how do I say this with seriousness without using guilt? I'm scared. Lazarus did cry out for help and eventually did die. Listen, there's people way weaker than I am, and I'm pretty damn strong. Like most guys, I like to think that I'm stronger than most. But man, I'm just trying to build that team so that it's fun, not so that it's not a crisis. Because I'm trying to get out of crisis management mode. I have a few people that help me when it's a crisis, but that's not what I'm looking for. I've acquired a lot of tools, but I've just run out of cash. Like I'm stuck. I try to live by the motto of focus on what I can do, because the money stopped flowing in because I stopped working, because I couldn't get there. The moment my truck's fixed, I will go back to work in a freaking hour. I start making money right away. There's always something to do. I'm pretty good at finding something to do 12 months out of the year. There's leaves everywhere that I gotta pick up, and I gotta get ready for snow. And there's always something to do. For working for this or that. I mean, I've got stuff to do. So I'm trying to find not a crisis team, but a proactive team. And would you forgive me if I'm emotional? And because I'm upset. No, I'm gonna say just please. Okay. Most of what the churches do is reactive. They give people free food, That's great. There's a time for that, and I think that's important. But maybe I can't find help because what I need doesn't exist. Maybe I should start something. There's medical clinics for the poor, right? Maybe I should start a car clinic. I helped a girl out in the parking lot the other day, and although I learned more about cars after I left, I probably misdiagnosed it, but I was able to help her get her car going and help her get home based upon my experiences. Maybe there should be something like that for people. Maybe I should start something. And maybe I'd like to partner with somebody who knows more about it than I do. I will work with somebody else to gain experience on somebody else's vehicles, It doesn't even have to be my truck. I want to get the experience so I'm good at it. That's all. I respect the power of fire and steel and metal. I know that honest people make good mistakes, and that's why I ask for help. I can teach myself on YouTube until my cows come home and my head hurts. Kind of like how I feel. Imagine you're a prize fighter, but you got hit upside the head with a BB. Didn't even penetrate, or a baseball. And softball. I'm not even throwing about 190 miles an hour, just hit with a softball. It hurts. You're tough, you're strong, you shrug it off. But how many times can that happen during the day? And you're just like, and you go sleep for 12 hours. And that's kind of how I feel sometimes when I get overwhelmed, like the brain just... Folks, about the only thing I couldn't do was go into the Marines, or the Army, and I probably actually could if I actually wanted to. So don't feel sorry, other than I'm just a human, like any freaking buddy else. I like to think I'm better than some people in some ways, and at sometimes, but we'd all like to think that about ourselves, wouldn't we? Or at least to some things. Anyway, I can be very facetious, which is not the same as a smartass. Smartasses are disrespectful, and facetious is more like friendly banter amongst friends. Bombarded with stupid phone calls to the point it's like somebody trying to piss me off for like a sport. But you know what? That's gotta make me stronger. When you go on a campaign, if you're a politician, guess what? You're gonna have resistance. You're gonna have the other side be like, no, no, no. But you know what? That's life. So maybe I gotta pick myself up and go back out there. But I'd really like to build a team and make this more fun. Make it more fun for me, less scary, and more fun for somebody else. So maybe we should start. I'm told there's a few ministries that help people with, the maintenance. Getting good at the maintenance is good. I'm getting better at it, but I still make mistakes. There are some times where things happen. I'm not so sure I did that, but I don't know for sure. You can't go pointing fingers unless you can prove it. I'm certainly bothered by what some of the people in my life will and will not help with, and I don't understand. And I just assume that I never will. So I kind of stopped turning to them for help. But let's do this, man. I want to build a team. Somebody who has at least more experience than I do, and I'm getting better at it. I could damn near almost open up my own repair shop, except I think my neighbors would have a cow. Well, I try to respect. I probably care more about policing myself and the noise than anybody else does. But seriously, there's got to be a church or a team of Christian mechanics, or even just one person that says, you know what? I want to work with Dave to help fix somebody else's transmission and car. I want to be the guy that can fix anything. I'm not trying to get into the business, but if you're going to help fix something on somebody else's, let me come along. Let me tag along when somebody does a transmission. Let me tag along when you rebuild an engine. Doing this by myself was the hardest, scariest part. It is the most emotionally draining part, is doing it by myself. That is the torturous part. That's the part where, man, if I was a drug addict, I probably would have relapsed. So, somewhere in this freaking great city has got to be a church with a team of mechanics. So you know what? Let's bring Dave in on this project where we clean up somebody else's vehicle real nice. Then he can have his own knowledge and experience. And if not in this city, folks, I'm open to going someplace else. If there's a team of mechanics in New York, Colorado, Texas, wherever, say, hey, you know what? We'll do what you asked, Dave. I'll relocate and I'll go there. Because I can only turn to the people I know and love and have invested in for so long. And I can only cry out for help for so long. I'm at some point, if there's a team in Arizona that says, hey, Dave, come to Arizona, I'll do it. Because I'm living in a constant state of crisis. And that's got to stop. And I could teach a class on relationships. I could teach the power of positive thinking. I could teach goal setting. I could teach relationship skills. I could teach a few things on money management and real estate. Not slow or stupid, but totally overwhelmed. You know what did Jesus say? If you go to a house and you're not well received, don't keep going from house to house in the same city. Go to another city. You know, I'm not going to keep crying out to Southbrook or the Mission or the Apex or, you know, the Vineyard or these different places that I have served. You know, at some point if somebody says, hey, come to Chicago, I'll go to Chicago. I can't do this for the rest of my life. You know, it's peace and love, and I'm really upset because my reputation's on the line with every day I miss, and I am overwhelmed. Not slow or stupid, not procrastinating. Just Rockies, you know, get worn down and beat down and overwhelmed. And that's where I'm at right now. So, folks, I'm open. But it's killing me. It is tearing me apart, and I try so hard to keep my head up. I went to bed at 9, lie down, and I just woke up, and now it's 2 o'clock. You know, I was in the hospital, I was having chest pains, thought I was having a damn heart attack. Believe me, some of these people who play in games, they weren't going to just stop. So yeah, I am totally open. If somebody sees this, says come to freaking Florida or North Carolina, I'll go. You know, and I really don't want to borrow money from the mafia, but if there's an organization outside of the churches that want to help, I'm fine with that too. I would consider myself, you know, a non-denominational Christian who's pretty upset right now. But if the Catholics want to help, that's fine, or whatever, you know. I do believe what I was taught my whole life, that we're supposed to be a part of a team and a family and not be a one-man island. And I'm pretty sure that's kind of a concept that is probably universal. But it's getting to me. It is really. I'm gonna try to put on my positive attitude hat and post this. I am 43, 40. I don't know how I am. 43, 44. November the 8th, 74. I just had a birthday. I've missed a month's worth of work every year in my life because my truck was in the shop. And I set out on a mission to overcome, and I haven't yet, but I've come a long way. I almost have everything I need. I mean, there's a few tools I don't have to fix my truck. And I might have those pretty soon, the way things are going. Forgive me if at some point my positive attitude hat flies, and at some point I do get irritated and I start cursing. At some point the slutty women start to look real good. Oh, forgive me if I'm being overly dramatic or emotional. Forgive me, women, for calling you slutty sometimes. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. I'm sure there's a lot of Christian women who got upset with the church and ended up with some guy who was a blankety blankety blank. Y'all know what I'm saying. So please help.